and she's here with me tonight. And Debbie is one of our differentiation specialists that works with our middle and high schools in regards to supporting enrichment opportunities and activities specifically for secondary students. Tonight, what you're going to be seeing is actually a video that's been pre-recorded to share and highlight some of those key points. Also share a PowerPoint. It will be available after the session tonight, so you can go back and view it later if you need to. But throughout the session, as you're listening, if you think of a question or something that you want to ask, if you'll just use the Q&A to ask that question, we'll be happy to try to respond. Also, at the end of the session, we will come back live to you and we will have a Q&A opportunity at that time. Before we jump to the video, I'd want to express to you just a reminder that Explore ISS is a monthly opportunity that our district's providing every first Thursday of the month. December the 2nd, early colleges will be sharing Explore with you. Specific times to be determined, but just mark your calendars for December the 2nd. Sometime that evening, our early college programs will be jumping on to offer our third Explore session, all focused about how to apply for the early college program and what the curriculum looks like in the early college program. So at this time, we're going to jump to our video that's going to explain again some of those enrichment opportunities, as well as identification processes for gifted learning, specifically for middle and high school students.
Good evening. I'm Debbie Dearman. I am with the Iredell-Statesville Schools Gifted Education Department. I am one of the secondary differentiated specialists, and we would like to welcome you tonight to our first segment of the Explore series. We're going to be looking at giftedness in Iredell-Statesville Schools and just tell you a little bit about our program.
And I'm Ann Jordan. I'm the second middle school and high school differentiation specialist here in ISS. And the first thing we want to be able to do is to show you how to find us. So you would go to, of course, the ISS webpage, and at the top of the ISS webpage, you will see there's a link here on the slide. But you also could go to iss.k12.nc.us or simply Google Iredell-Statesville Schools. And you'll look at the top of Iredell-Statesville Schools webpage, and it shows across the top about us, school programs, departments, community. And under departments, the very first department to click on is the AIG department. And it goes through, you can find out a lot about our department as you scroll down through our vision, our mission, and other things here on our webpage. But over on the left are the most important links, and those are the things that if you want to contact us, and of course, Kelly Henson is the director of our Gifted Learning Program, and our administrative assistant is Vanessa Estes. They are almost always in the department. The rest of us go in and out during the day, and they will be more than glad to respond to your phone calls or to your emails. We do have elementary and middle school. Debbie and I are the middle school and high school coordinators, but you'll find that under the differentiated specialist. Our plan is here, our differentiated education plan, the DEPs, which we will address later in this presentation. We do have an advisory team. We talk about COGAT testing if you have questions about that. But again, we're going to address a little bit about that. But one of the programs that we'll speak to a lot is the Learn and Lead, and that is also there on the left. So we hope you'll be able to find us easily there.
Okay, one of the areas that we are questioned about sometimes is the identification process and some of the services that Iredell County, Iredell-Statesville Schools offer. In grades 6 through 12, a total of 30 points must be obtained through the use of 3 to 5 criteria that we require for AIG identification. The COGAT, or aptitude test, is administered to students in our 3rd grade, and we use that as a universal screener. In 4th grade and beyond, the COGAT may be given to students who have 16 to 29 points based on this criteria, but lack qualifying aptitude test score. Students need 30 points at least to qualify in these three areas. Students obtain their points through their performance on aptitude and achievement and their grades. If for some reason your student doesn't quite earn 30 points, but maybe just a few points shy of that, 25 to 29, then other opportunities such as a learner profile or portfolio may be used for identification. We have four levels of services here in our system. Most of our students will be considered level 2 learners. Level 2 learners are taught in a classroom with a teacher who is trained in gifted practices. There's indirect support from a differentiated specialist. These students could be in clusters, or they could be in a class that is basically mostly gifted and high achievers. Our level 1 students are students that typically come to our system as transfers, and they will remain that until further testing is warranted. Level 3 and level 4, those are subject advancement and grade advancements. And if that involves your student, then your school's coordinator would certainly get in touch with you about that.
So what is the DEP plan that your student has come home and talked to you about? It's differentiated education plan. This plan, each AIG student in our district should be completing their DEP through the Canvas classroom platform. Each student has an advisor who invites them to participate, and in their individual DEP, advisors and parents are asked to also reflect with the student periodically through the year. The DEP should be an extension and addition to the regular classroom, as well as an extension of the child's giftedness. In high school, this is what this particular slide, let's address it first, is what your differentiated plan would come to your student on, and what it looks like and where they get started. But in high school, this is what they would receive. You can see the modules, the dates are there, things that are due. You can see it's not an overwhelming process. We don't ask for them to address it every single month, but it is a process that will be helpful to them. Students are expected and encouraged at the high school level. This DEP focuses primarily on the student's high school courses, as well as shifting the focus to his or her future plans, whether that be college, military service, or a workplace environment. Opportunities are provided for students to meet personally with their counselors or their advisors as they navigate their individual course load. We also provide learn and lead sessions that we will address later, but they also assist with completing these DEPs. In the middle school, this is what your student would be receiving through their Canvas program, and they're expected and encouraged to complete an individual DEP each school year. The purpose of this plan is to encourage students to delve deeper into an area of interest or passion by exploring or participating in projects, clubs, community service, the arts. That can also be out of school or in school, sports, etc. And parents should be here, just like in high school, a partner to this process by offering reflections periodically through the year, as well as a student's advisor within the school.
Okay, in our district, once a student is identified as being gifted, he or she is always identified as being gifted, and that continues all the way throughout their school career. They have guaranteed access to offerings such as advanced coursework throughout middle and high school. There are honors classes, advanced placement classes, college courses. Those are just a few of the advanced offerings that kids have the opportunity to be involved in. We have school choice options. We have an IB program in both middle and high school. Again, the advanced placement courses, we have early colleges, we have an arts and science early college, a technology and leadership early college, as well as an agriculture and science early college. We have an online learning option, which is the ISS virtual school. We have a career academy and a technical school. We have courses that if a child is proficient, as evidenced by an assessment at the end, then they're promised some college credits for those courses. All of these are options that students can take advantage of in middle and on into high school as they progress on through. Other opportunities for high school will be Governor's School, which we'll address in just a little bit. Those are summer programs that are residential that have emphasis on math and science and also the arts. We also have a residential school here in North Carolina for those students that are very interested in science and or math, and it is located in Durham. Right now, the North Carolina School of Science and Math. There will be a campus open in Morganton starting next year, and those are residential programs for juniors and seniors. There are some other opportunities available that will most definitely go along with the middle school child's DEP. They may be interested in robotics. That's offered at both middle and high school level, that it would directly affect or work with the DEP if a child was interested in working with robotics. That certainly goes beyond the regular classroom. The science fair is offered for both levels, and we encourage students to become, to do a project and delve a little deeper into their interest there. Battle of the Books is elementary and middle school, but children read 27 books there and then compete. So that is a kind of an intense thing, especially for our readers. We have math counts at some of the middle schools. We have Math Expo at all of them, or hopefully all of them. Spelling Bee is middle school. We have North Carolina Scholastic Competitions where students form teams and then compete at various competitions around the state. We also have Odyssey of the Mind. Other things that are available, maybe summer venture programs, the Duke TIP program. We hope is going to be up and running before long. We have the Crosby Scholars. We have our Learn and Lead sessions, which again we'll address in a little bit, but we'd love for the students to take advantage of those as they are directly related to the DEPs as well. Another option that a student may have, he or she may earn credits for a class if they can demonstrate mastery before the actual class starts. They cannot go into the class and have a space there. This needs to be done prior using an intensive assessment, whether it be a state test or a final exam type tool, and also an evaluative process after the test where the child has to demonstrate mastery of the information. Some courses, this is not applicable to. Others are. You can find more information about that on our website. There is a timeline, and it is strictly adhered to. So if your child is interested in perhaps trying to gain credit by not attending the class, you need to carefully look at that timeline and make sure that following the guidelines there.
So what is Learn and Lead that we have talked about or made reference to several times? If you remember on the second or third slide, we showed you how to find our department. And if you look on the left and you scroll down, you'll be able to find these recordings. If you are unable to attend the meeting, the meetings are the second Tuesday of every month. We've already had 2 of these Learn and Lead sessions. The first one was with Leanne Darty through Rainbow Kids, and it was coping with returning back to school now that kids have been out so much for COVID and coming back and adjusting and being back into the classroom. And then the next session we had was on the North Carolina School of Science and Math. And again, that recording is still on the Learn and Lead session. And if you are interested in the School of Science and Math, I encourage you to go back, and especially our middle schoolers and our freshmen and sophomores, as that window to apply closes pretty early in the fall. It's already closed for those who want to attend next year. So what's coming up with Learn and Lead next is college boards. And this is going to be on November the 9th from 6 to 7 with Michelle Dorsey, who is a college board representative. It will be about taking advantage of what College Board, navigating the College Board and what all it offers you, finding scholarships, helping you to decide what areas you're really interested in, what colleges, once you determine that, what colleges offer programs in that particular major. So it will be a really good resource for all kids, really starting probably as soon as a freshman, maybe even earlier. Establishing that College Board account. And then in December, we're going to have Tom Winton on the 14th from the North Carolina Governor's School. Governor's School is a free summer program, residential program for high school students. You do have to apply, and if you apply in the arts, which we encourage our students to apply in both, whether it's academics or to apply in the arts. They do have 2 campuses. They mix the students. There will be some academic and some arts at both schools. One school is located in High Point, and the other one is at Meredith College in Raleigh. So Learn and Lead is a great program. You should be receiving emails. It helps you with your DEP. It's areas of interest that students have told us that they wanted more information about. And of course, we hope it also addresses some of the social and emotional needs of your students. So at this time, we're going to answer questions. We do thank you for joining us. If you need to leave, or if you are watching this as a recording, please feel welcome to email Debbie or I, or of course, Kelly, if you have questions, that we would love to answer them for you.
Okay, thank you for joining us at this time. We hope you enjoyed our presentation and that it gave you just a little bit of information about all that ISS has to offer. If you have any questions at this time, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box and we will answer them for you. We appreciate your time.
So I did just want to address one of the questions that we received asked, and we get asked this frequently, if you have to be an identified student to take advantage of the enrichment opportunities that you heard being described during the video. And the answer to that is no. Our enrichment opportunities that we provide through a department are open to any child that wants to take advantage of them. So it doesn't have anything to do with whether you have gifted identification or not. You can participate in things like robotics and science projects and all those different things. So the Governor's School, I believe that Governor's College may be referring to Governor's School. Debbie, do you want to talk about that, or do you want me to?
What I could say about Governor's School is that it is a great summer residential program. We encourage students who are passionate and have a love for arts to apply. Also, academics, math, science, literature, whatever your academic choice is. It's a rather the process to apply needs to be done in the fall. That session it's already closed, isn't it, for this year, for this coming summer?
It's actually happening right now.
It's happening right now. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's an interview process. It's an application process that includes several questions, essays, an interview. But it's very worthwhile, and the experience that the students would reap from that would be most beneficial for them.
So the other question is, what grades can participate in Governor's School? Since we're talking about Governor's School, we'll jump to that one. So with Governor's School, you have 2 different areas that students can apply in: the arts that you heard described in the video, as well as academic side. The arts allows rising juniors and seniors to apply. The academic side is just for those current juniors would apply before going into their senior year. It is, as you heard Debbie describe, a pretty intense application process that requires students to be able to complete essay writing as well as demonstrate leadership ability as well as community involvement. What happens is the students would reach out to their counselor at their school, and that counselor could give them the application process. It is happening right now in your schools. So if a student is interested, they would need to go ahead and reach out to their counselor. From there, you actually are nominated. You move forward to the district level, and then the district has a scoring committee. We are only allowed so many slots as a district to send forward to the state level. Once we determine who's moving forward to the state level, the child's application process goes through another review, and they actually determine which students will be selected to attend the governor's school program. Typically, a district can expect to see around 10 to 13% of their students moving forward to the state level. So that gives you some ideas of how intense it really is and how difficult it is to be accepted. So we always tell our students just being nominated is an honor. And so it's always prestigious to make sure that you share that if you receive that nomination based off your application. So we have another question about how can we receive, we're not receiving emails about the programs. How do we make sure we're getting appropriate emails? One thing that I would for sure do is make sure that you reach out to myself or Debbie and make sure that we have your correct email in PowerSchool. One thing that we do as a department is we send out a department newsletter quarterly. And in that newsletter, we try to always share what events are currently happening so that you're aware. So if you're not getting that quarterly newsletter, that goes out to everybody, regardless of whether you're identified gifted or not. So that's the place where I would start, is making sure that we have that accurate in PowerSchool, because that's how we send those out. The other thing that I think you should do is reach out to your school principal and ask who their contacts are for any of those programs or events that you're interested in. So what I mean by that is each school has a science fair coordinator, or each school might have a North Carolina Governor's School contact, and that principal should be able to share with you who that contact is. If they can't, then I can. So if you need me to get you in touch with someone specific at your school that's over that program, I can do that and help you connect with that person to make sure you're getting the right communication. Debbie, do you want to talk about the Learn and Lead sessions?
The question is, how can I register for Learn and Lead? You don't have to register for that. Those are held every month, the second Tuesday of the month. Typically they're at 6:30. However, this one coming up next week is at 6 o'clock. There are flyers that go out to the coordinators in your school. And again, that coordinator typically sends an additional email out to the students. So your students should be getting an email advertising the Learn and Lead sessions. They're also in the newsletter. We put those 3 months ahead in the newsletter. But again, it's the second Tuesday of each month. You can just tune in. You do not have to register for those. And it is important that the students are also participating because they are directly related to their DPs.
We have another question about how long Governor's School lasts in the summer. The summer session is 5.5 weeks, and probably also should have said that the cost of Governor's School it's $500, but here's the exciting part. How it works is if your child is accepted to attend Governor's School, the district will cover half of that fee, and you will cover half of that fee. At the end of Governor's School, if your student has successfully completed the 5.5 weeks and stayed with the program, then basically the district reimburses you that $250 that you paid up front, which basically means that the district covered your entire cost of Governor's School if your child was successful in completing that. It does ask on the application, I believe there's a question on there, it's worded do you feel like that you would be able to manage being away from home for 5.5 weeks? There's not a lot of visitation allowed during that time. So it is important that the child feels mature enough and able to be away from home for that length of time. And you want to answer that one, Debbie?
Yeah, the question is, where can we find the flyer that was shown in the video for the upcoming Learn and Lead? So these flyers, that's what Kelly was referring to a while ago. An email is sent out to every student that we have names for and that we have an accurate address for in Power School each month prior to this. This flyer is sent home. The link is there. And then on those Tuesday nights, you simply go to that link and it will be there. It does say right now on the ISS website that it simply states the link to come. Kelly posts it the day of. The actual link is posted the day of. So next Tuesday night, the 14th, it'll be there. It'll be posted.
Yeah.
And is Learn and Lead a Zoom meeting? Yes, it is at this point.
It's a live Zoom session. So we actually have the whoever's hosting and presenting the information, they're with us live for the event. So the question about Governor's School in North Carolina Science and Technology appear to be both for high schoolers. Are there any similar programs for middle schoolers? I do know that Duke Tip offers a variety of programs for middle schoolers. I will tell you that we've been waiting for Duke Tip to update their current services. They had to back off of some of their services and things during the pandemic. They have said to us that they are planning to get some of those things back up and going. So I do know that they offer some various summer activities and programs that are geared towards the middle schoolers. Do you know of any others, Debbie?
Yes, also I believe that the North Carolina School of Science and Math offers what they call a summer ventures. I can't tell you a whole lot about that, but that's something that we can certainly find out for you. But I do believe that involves middle schoolers.
All right. So, the first that you've ever heard of Learn and Lead, I hope that you will continue to watch for more information. We've been doing this now for, I guess this is our second year. And we do try to offer sessions that, like Debbie said, are both going to apply to the student, but also offer you as parents, I hope, some important tips and information that will help guide your student through their journey of middle and high school and planning for their future, wherever it may be for them. So we do try to post those on our gifted page, so you can always take a look there to see what's coming up next. And then again, we do try to send that flyer out and that information. Always welcome again to email me if you want to know what's coming up next and what might be on the schedule.
Plus also, she puts those recordings of those meetings on the website. So if you have missed one or cannot attend one, it will be on the website for a while. Our past ones, our previous ones will be.
So my email is khiss.k12.nc.us, and I'm going to type that in as well. All right, and we'll sit here for a few more minutes. I think we've gone through all the questions that I'm seeing so far. But as you think of things, please reach out to us. Debbie Dearman is who's with me tonight. You also heard from Ann Jordan in the video. Both these ladies, as I introduced at the beginning, work with the middle and high schools. They have a lot of knowledge just as retired secondary teachers that worked here in our district about various programs for secondary students. So if you are looking for something to provide enrichment for your child, push them beyond just be some additional activities to to occupy them in a positive way, reach out. We're more than happy to help you in any way that we can. And again, we just thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.